Sige, start tayo. So for today, dito na tayo sa Module 3, Evolvement of Cybercrime. Okay, so the internet continues to grow both in terms of functionality and number of participants dahil mas madami ng tao ang nagkakaroon ng access sa internet, kaya mas madami na ang, of course, nakakagamit nito, take advantage sa mga ino-offer ng internet. So, the amount of time spent by participants online also continue to grow. O yung iba sa inyo, baka 3 hours a day. Yung iba, baka 5 hours a day. Yung iba, whole day siguro, hindi na natutulog. Babad siya sa Netflix, di ba? With that, the risks associated with storing so much personal information online and being in constant connection with the internet are much by many positive and socially constructive benefits. For example, kung familiar kayo sa LinkedIn, familiar ba? Uh, it's kind of a social networking site kung saan puro professionals naman. Professional work, professional social media site siya kung saan inilalagay mo lahat ng qualifications mo, researches published, para nako-connect ka sa mga kalahi mo, yung mga researchers din, yung mga nasa field ng criminology din or whatever. So madami siyang benefits actually, kahit na um, uh, personal information nga ang nilalagay. And in a sense, we have to be careful sa paglalagay ng personal information natin. Kaya nga sa ibang social networking sites, may option na gawing private ang profile mo. Kaya yung mga friends mo lang doon sa site na yon ang may access doon sa mga data na pinopost mo sa social networking site na yon. So this is lesson 1, emergence of cybercrime. So at the end of the lesson, you should be able to discuss the evolution of cybercrime, list down the reasons for the emergence of cybercrime, and categorize cybercriminals. Okay, so in October 2014, Estonian national Sergei Churikov was sentenced to 11 years in prison in the United States for his part in a conspiracy, which resulted in the loss of over $9.4 million. The offenses occurred during 2008 when Churikov and others were able to hack into the computer network of RBS WorldPay, in what authorities describe as perhaps one of the most sophisticated and organized computer fraud attacks ever conducted. The offenders were able to compromise the data encryption used by RBS and raise the account limits on payroll debit cards. Yumaman siya doon. They then provided a network of cashers with 44 counterfeit payroll debit cards that in under 12 hours were used to withdraw more than 9 million from over 2,100 ATM machines, ATMs, in at least 280 cities worldwide, including cities in United States, Russia, Ukraine, Estonia, Italy, Hong Kong, Japan, and Canada. Adding insult to injury, Churikov and other hackers were able to monitor the withdrawals in real time using RBS computer systems. Although a highly sophisticated example, this case illustrates many of the features and challenges of modern cybercrimes. It was organized, financially motivated, technologically sophisticated, and transnational. That's one of the hardest things when you tackle cybercrime cases kasi it can happen anywhere. Katulad niyan, uh, meron sa United States, meron sa Russia, sa Ukraine, at kung saan-saan pa. So, mahirap silang hulihin yung mga nakapag-withdraw mula doon sa mga ATMs na yon. It was also made possible by the ubiquity of digital technology in modern life, technology that has transformed the way in which we socialize and do business. Kung mapapansin ninyo, kung namimili kayo, madami ng stores gumagamit ng GCash na tumatanggap sila na ang bayad mo ay GCash. Dati kasi puro cash or card lang, 'di ba? So yun, para sa iba mas napapadali din 'yon. While overwhelming positive, there is also a dark side to this transformation, proving the maxim that crime follows opportunity. Virtually every advance has been accompanied by a corresponding niche to be exploited for criminal purposes. We were able to tackle this na since nagkaroon ng internet, there is also a new avenue for criminals to commit crimes. Ayun na nga yung cyberspace. The magic of digital cameras and the sharing of photographs is exploited by child pornographers. The convenience of electronic communications and social networking sites may be used to stalk and harass. O yung mga jowa nyo, di ba? Stalk nyo kung may fina-follow ba ng mga babaeng sexy, yung mga nagtitiktok na naka-shorts lang na maikli. Mga ganon. Naabangan nyo yun eh. Ini-stalk nyo. So the ease with which digital media may be shared has led to an explosion in copyright infringement. Ayan. Yung mga mapang-plagiarize sa inyo. Tay kayo. Our increasing dependence on computers and digital networks make the technology itself a tempting target, either for the gaining of information or as means of causing disruption and change. Madali naman talaga, katulad nga ng ginagawa natin ngayon sa pagkaklase, di ba? You don't have to go to school, but we are still able to conduct classes. Yung mga quizzes, exams are also done online dahil sa Canvas, di ba? The idea of a separate category of computer crime arose at about the same time that computers became more mainstream. As early as the 1960s, there were reports of computer manipulation, computer sabotage, computer espionage, and the illegal use of computer systems. As the technology evolved, so too the nature of the offending, giving rise to the three generations of cybercrime identified by Wall. From cybercrimes facilitating traditional offenses such as fraud through crimes across networks, such as hacking, to crimes that are wholly mediated by technology such as botnets. We were also able to discuss this, yung mga iba't ibang uri ng cybercrimes. So the motivations of offenders have also evolved from curiosity and status-driven activities to those who are now predominantly financially motivated because they control systems, itong mga hackers natin, itong mga cybercriminals natin, and they take advantage. Katulad nga ng example kanina, di ba? They were able to acquire at $9.4 million sa iba't ibang lugar sa mundo. So, financially motivated talaga yung paggawa nila nung act na yon. And occur in a much more organized and systematic manner. Those who are very good at hacking, tong mga criminals talaga, they are very organized because they know how to hide their identity very well. And of course, authorities, dahil hindi pa ganun kadami ang expert sa ganitong pag-investigate ng krimen, ay nahihirapan din sila. While the 1970s saw the first serious treatments of computer crime, the relatively limited role of computers in daily life meant that such offenses typically related to theft of telecommunication services and fraudulent transfer of electronic funds. In subsequent decades, the increasing networking of computers and the proliferation of personal computers transformed computer crime and saw the introduction of specific crime laws. Dati kasi, general siya, basta computer crime, yun na yun. Ngayon kasi, hindi. Meron pang computer used as the target. Mga ganon. Tapos, sa cybercrime law natin, RA 10175, specific din yung mga crime law, cybercrime laws. Cybercrimes doon. For example, libel. This is specific na done online. Dahil meron ding libel na specified doon sa revised penal code. So the evolution of such legislation followed successive waves, reflecting changing concerns surrounding the misuse of computers. Initial concerns were related to unauthorized access to computer data per se. Increasing connectivity not only magnified these concerns, it gave rise to new problems such as remote attacks on computers and networks. May mga madaming attacks na hindi kailangan on-site ka. For example, itong laptop ko. Hindi kailangan na dito mo rin gagawin yung attack. Pwedeng nasa malayong lugar ka kasi nga you will do it in through the use of the internet. Gave new life to old offenses such as infringement of copyright. Dati kasi puro print media ang meron tayo, di ba? Books, newspaper. Ngayon, meron ng social media, meron ng blogs, vlogs, at kung ano-ano pa na pwedeng pagkopyahan at gamitin o sabihin mo na sa'yo. The distribution of child pornography. Dati kasi puro CD, di ba? Tama ba ako, boys?
Yes po,
CD.
ma'am.
Oh, 'di ba? Tama ako. Alam na alam niyo eh. Kabisado niyo 'yan. But now, madali na lang. Type mo na lang yung website, lalabas na lahat doon, 'di ba? Dami mo pang choices. Gusto mo bata, gusto mo matanda, gusto mo madami sila. Yan, party-party, 'di ba? And global fraudulent schemes. Rapid technological development continues and all will continue to present new challenges. Of course, habang nagkakaroon ng mga development, improvement sa technology natin, magkakaroon din ng improvement and development sa mga crimes na pwede natin kaharapin. The increasing uptake of broadband allows many users to leave their devices constantly connected to the internet. Minsan nga, kahit hindi mo dala yung cellphone mo, kung may smartwatch ka, makakatanggap ka pa rin ng messages, di ba? Thus, makaka-receive ka rin ng call sa mga ibang smartwatches. Thus, making them more vulnerable to external attack. The more we are connected to the internet, the more we are vulnerable to being victims of cybercrime. Peer-to-peer technology may not only be used to transfer illegal content, but also orchestrate denial of service attacks or yung DOS attacks and disseminate malware or malicious software. The convergence of telecommunications and computing has transformed mobile phones into miniature network computers. Actually, sa cellphone, di ba, pwede ka na rin, of course, you are connected through messaging applications. You can edit sa cellphone mo. Yung ibang cellphone, hindi na kailangan ng application dahil built-in na pwede kang mag-edit. But some cellphones, hindi ganun. So you have to download a certain application. Pwede ka rin makagawa ng Word document or minsan PowerPoint, Excel. Pwede mong lahat gawin yan sa cellphone mo. Kaya ang sabi, it's a miniature network computer, of course, dahil nakaka-connect na ito sa internet. Increasingly, we also see internet connectivity incorporated into more and more everyday items, the so-called internet thing. Hart, in his work, The Concept of Law, has said human beings are vulnerable, so rule of law is required to protect them. Applying this to the cyberspace, we may say that computers are vulnerable, so rule of law is required to protect and safeguard them against cybercrime. At yun na nga, ang dahilan kung bakit meron tayo ng Republic Act 10175. Okay? Because there is no crime if there is no law punishing it. So you have to have a certain law in order for you to criminalize certain actions, in order for you to protect yourself or others from crimes being committed through cyberspace. So the reasons for vulnerability of computers may be said to be first is the capacity to store data in comparatively small space. The computer has unique characteristics of storing data in a very small space. Actually, uh, mga flash drives, di ba? Pwede tayong mag-save doon ng files, mag-store ng data. Cellphone natin, dyan din tayo nag-i-store ng data, di ba? This affords to remove or derive information through physical or virtual medium makes it much easier. For example, nag-send ako ng link sa Google Drive. So lahat tayo, kung iset ko lang yon as editor tayong lahat, o yung mga pipindot sa link na yon ay editor, then lahat tayo meron ng access doon sa information. And it doesn't take up much space. Second is that uh, it is easy to access, kaya vulnerable ang computers. The problem encountered in guarding a computer system from unauthorized access is that there is every possibility of breach not due to human error but due to the complex technology by secretly implanted logic bomb, keyloggers that can still access codes, advanced voice recorders, retina imagers, and others that can fool biometric systems and bypass firewalls can be utilized to get past many security system. I assume na take up nyo na rin to sa introduction to industrial security concepts ninyo na madaming paraan para ma-safeguard ng isang installation, di ba? Meron tayong first line of defense, second line of defense, and then third line. Yung first line, review lang ng konti. Ito yung gate. Ito yung barrier wall. And then, second line of defense, mga pintuan, mga lock. At yung ibang uri ng lock doon, maaaring yung mga ganito. Through biometrics, fingerprint, kung may mga nanonood ng K-drama sa inyo, may mga pinipindot silang codes or numbers para ma-access nila yung bahay, mabuksan nila yung pintuan. So, because computers are vulnerable nga dahil yung mga yon is also uses computer, yung mga ganong code. It may also be vulnerable to be bypassed by others. Third it is complex. The computers work on operating systems, and these operating systems in turn are composed of millions of codes. Human mind is fallible, and it is not possible that there might not be lapse at any stage. Dahil ang tao talagang nagkakamali. At kahit na expert ka pa dyan, you are still susceptible to making mistakes sa mga codes mo. Dahil nga sa sobrang dami niyan. The cybercriminals take advantage of these lacunas and penetrate into the computer system. Fourth is negligence. So negligence is very closely connected with human conduct. It is therefore very probable that while protecting the computer system, there might be any negligence. Of course, babalik tayo sa nabanggit natin kanina, human error. Dahil ang tao talagang nagkakamali. At yun nga, yung mga criminals na to will take advantage of those kind of negligence. So there might be any negligence, which in turn provides a cyber criminal to gain access and control over the computer system. And then loss of evidence. So loss of evidence is a very common and obvious problem as all the data are routinely destroyed. Actually, kahit nga physical evidence, di ba, there is still a possibility that it might be lost. Mas lalo na sa cyberspace dahil madaling mag-delete. Minsan nga may mga na-aksidente tayong, napipindot tayo ng aksidente, nadidelete natin ang isang file. At further collection of data outside the territorial extent also paralyzes this system of crime investigation. Kapag hindi na kayang ma-retrieve ang data, hindi na kaya ng powers ng mga investigator or cybercrime investigator natin. So it would really cause a problem in in your investigation. Additionally, though in his work, Principle of Cybercrime mentioned the following as reasons on why criminals and persons, even with good intent but negligent, may be lured into committing cybercrime, such as the first one is anonymity, being able to not be recognized by anyone. Kasi nga, magiging anonymous ka. Anonymity is an obvious advantage for an offender kasi wala namang or hindi naman sa lahat ng pagkakataon ang offender gusto niyang makilala siya. And lalo na kung ayaw niyang makulong, kung ayaw niya yung kaharapin yung mga consequences ng mga ginawa niyang crime. And digital technology facilitates this in a number of ways. Napakadaling palitan ng pangalan ng isang profile, 'di ba? Yung iba nga sa inyo, baligtad pa yung pangalan. So offenders may deliberately conceal their identity online by the use of proxy servers, spoof email, or IP addresses, or anonymous emailers. Simply opening an email account which does not require identity verification provides a false identity. Madaming social media sites na ganyan. Hindi na kailangan ma-verify pa yung identity mo. In verifying identity, may mga pagkakataon, hinihingian ka kasi ng ID. For example, GCash. Para maging fully verified ang account mo, kailangan mag-upload ka ng one or two government-issued IDs para mapatunayang ikaw talaga yung taong yun, yung nakalagay doon na pangalan sa GCash. Confidentiality may be protected by the use of readily available encryption technology, while traces of digital evidence may be removed using commercially available software. Lalo na kung mahusay ka na hacker or expert ka sa information technology, madali lang mag-delete, madali lang ah, makapanloko ng ibang tao doon. Dahil nga, you are anonymous. You are protected. Second is portability and transferability. Central to the power of digital technology is the ability to store enormous amounts of data in small space and to replicate that data with no appreciable diminution of quality. Madaming storage din kung saan hindi naman bababa yung quality ng data na kinuha mo o yung original quality ay makukuha mo rin. But for example, Facebook Messenger, na-try nyo na ba na mag-upload o mag-send ng picture doon? Tapos picture na yon ay dinownload ninyo, bumababa yung quality. Kasi ang ginagawa ni Messenger, kinocompress niya yung data para mas mabilis siyang ma-access. 'Di ba? Pag lalo na kung medyo malakas naman yung internet mo, mabilis lang siya mag-load sa newsfeed mo kapag nag-scroll ka, lahat ng pictures, lahat ng videos, kita mo agad. Kasi nga, kinocompress ni Messenger. But, yun nga, sinabi natin kanina, madaming paraan para ma-save mo yung original quality at ma-transfer mo rin yun with the same quality. Storage and processing power, which would once have occupied rooms will now fit into a pocket dahil kasya na nga sa flash drive. Copies of images or sound may be transmitted simply and at negligible cost to potentially millions of recipients. Nung bago pa nauso ang Messenger o Google Drive, merong Bluetooth. Uso yan. Inabutan ko pa yung infrared, yung pagtatabihin mo yung dalawang cellphone. Kasi hindi lahat ng cellphone may infrared feature. So yung mga cellphone na meron nga nun, sila lang yung pwedeng magpasahan ng data, itatapat mo yun. Nabutan niyo ba yun? Siguro elementary pa kayo nun. High school ako nun eh. Then nagkaroon nga ng Bluetooth. Kumbaga hindi pa lahat ng cellphone nun may Bluetooth eh. Yung mga high-end pa nun na kinoconsider. And then sa iPhone naman, merong eardrop. Ayun. The convergence of computing and communication technologies has made this process a seamless one. Madali na lang. With the ability to take a digital image with a mobile phone and then upload it to a website within seconds. Minsan nga, bago ka pa kumain, pipicturean mo pa yung pagkain mo, tapos ipopost mo pa, gagawan mo pa ng reels at kung ano-ano pang video. Kaya madaling-madali na i-upload ito sa internet. So kahit phone mo na nga lang, kaya na. Hindi tulad dati. And then, global reach. Pag nag-post ka sa internet, lahat ng may access sa internet, pwede na itong makita. Criminal law is traditional, regarded as local in nature. If you can remember your introduction to criminology, ang batas ay specific sa isang bansa lang. Hindi lahat ng batas na meron tayo ay meron din sa ibang bansa o applicable din sa ibang bansa. United States na nga lang, 'di ba? Dahil federal sila. So kada state merong isang set ng mga batas na hindi sa lahat ng pagkakataon ay parehas sa ibang state. For example, the use of marijuana, hindi naman sa lahat ng states ay legal ang paggamit nun. But in some states, legal siya. Kaya kapag gumamit ka ng marijuana sa mga state na hindi legal, o di syempre, gumagawa ka ng krimen, huhulihin ka. Modern computer networks have challenged that paradigm, as individuals may now communicate overseas as easily as next door. Offenders may be present and cause harm anywhere there is an internet connection. I remember, uh, familiar kayo sa term na roaming? May ibang load pa doon para sa roaming kung may gusto kang tawagan o makausap na nasa ibang bansa. But now, messenger lang kahit saan. Pwede ka nang makipag-usap sa mga tao doon. Whether it be a fraudulent scheme, a DOS attack, or denial of service attack, or the distribution of child pornography, there is no need for offenders and victim to be in the same jurisdiction. Kaya mahirap talagang hulihin dahil nga magkaiba ang mga batas sa iba't ibang bansa kahit na ang paggawa ng krimen ay nasa isang lugar lang. I mean, yung gumawa ng krimen ay nasa isang lugar lang. But then, yung maaapektuhan, yung possible victims niya, ay hindi lang din mula sa lugar na yon, kundi kahit saan sa mundo. Pwede, basta may reach. May reach sa internet. Not only does this provide literally a world of opportunity for offenders, it presents enormous challenges to law enforcement, and harmonization. And then we also have absence of capable guardians. Pag sinabi nating guardian, hindi ito yung magulang mo o kaya yung guardian mo nga na pumipirma sa mga waiver. Hindi ganon ang paggamit natin sa term na guardians when we are talking about cybercrime. So an important factor which may affect offending behavior is the perceived risk of detection and prosecution. In this respect, digital technology presents law enforcement with a range of challenges. The volatile nature of electronic data requires sophisticated forensic techniques to ensure its retrieval, preservation, and validity use in a criminal trial. When I was doing my master's research, ang isa sa mga capable guardians is password, um, antivirus. Yung mga yan, yung mga magga-guard, literal na magga-guard sa'yo from other crimes such as viruses, worms, and so on. Yun. They are considered guardians also. And lastly, are the categories of cybercriminals. So the cybercriminals constitute of various groups or category. This division may be justified based on the object they have in their mind. The following are the category of cybercriminals. First, children and adolescents between the age group of 6 to 18 years, so mga minor. The simple reason for this type of delinquent behavior pattern in children is seen mostly due to the inquisitiveness to know and explore the things. Dahil curious sila, kaya sila nakaka-commit ng crime. Other cognate reason may be to prove themselves to be outstanding amongst other children in their group. So gusto nila, bida sila. Ito yung mga batang pabibo. Further, the reasons may be psychological even. Next are organized hackers. So these kinds of hackers are mostly organized together to fulfill certain objectives. The reason may be to fulfill their political bias, fundamentalism, and other reasons. For example, the Pakistanis are said to be the best hackers in the world. They mainly target the Indian government sites with the purpose to fulfill their political objectives. So this is because of ideology. Kaya sila gumagawa ng crime, not basically financially motivated. Further, the NASA as well as the Microsoft sites is always under attack by the hackers. Of course, dahil may mga big government institution to, madaming systems related to national defense, kaya madaming gusto mag-hack dyan. And Microsoft, of course, being a big computer or information technology company, kaya madaming gusto makakuha ng technology nila at ng mga data nila. And then we have professional hackers or crackers. Their work is motivated by the color of money. So, financially motivated itong mga to. These kinds of hackers are mostly employed to hack the site of the rivals and get credible, reliable, and valuable information. Further, they are even employed to crack the system of the employer as a measure to make it safer by detecting the loopholes. May napanood akong ganyang movie. Nakalimutan ko yung title, pero yung nagpakulong siya, sinadya niyang magpakulong siya, tapos nakatakas siya or tumakas siya para lang ma-point out yung mga lapses sa security ng prison. So parang ganun din ang mga professional hackers. Hina-hire sila para makita kung ano yung mga loopholes or yung mga problems doon sa system na gamit ng isang company. And then we have discontented employees. This group include those people who have been either sacked by their employer or dissatisfied with their employer. Kapag galit sila sa employer nila, kung saan sila nagtatrabaho, to avenge, they normally hack the system of their employee. So, emotionally motivated naman ito.